Greetings, my friends, and welcome El Rushbo, half my brain tied behind my back just to make it fair. Get line one ready. Open line Friday, 800-282-2882. We ought to go to Sullivan, Wisconsin, because this is a transition to where I was headed anyway. Ken, great to have you on Open Line Friday. Hello, sir.
Rush, it's been many years. We appreciate you out here.
What do you mean it's been many years? Many years of the program, many years since you last called, many years. What do you mean many years?
Well, I've been listening forever, and I'm usually busy during the day. I'm off today first time I ever called, and I got through. I can't believe it.
Okay, so it's been many years that you have been trying and wanting to appear on the program, and here it is, you've made it.
And on my first call, and again, we appreciate you out here.
Thank you very much. I really do.
Well, my first thought as I sat here today was, here with everything going south as far as Obamacare, and with the country in supposedly a slow recovery, which we all know is no recovery at all, our president is in Hawaii, and they're doing photo shoots of him getting lattes and hitting golf balls. If George W. Bush had put his signature, something that he actually put his name on, and then disappeared at the beginning of its inception and was having a vacation while all the sites were crashing. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what people would be saying in the media right now?
I do. I can totally understand it, but I want to focus on just one half of that. I don't care what the media would be saying about what Bush is doing. What matters more to me is what Obama is actually doing. His signature program is a total lie. His signature program, he lied to people. You keep your plan, you keep your doctor if you like it. People now can't even get insurance. People who thought they were insured aren't and can't get treated. They're being untreated, going into hospitals, and they don't have insurance. They think they've signed up. It is an absolute disaster, and he's snorkeling in Hawaii. Forget what the media is saying about it, which is nothing. And we all know that if it were George W. Bush, the media would be taking the occasion to drum up hatred, downward approval numbers, and everything else for Bush to run him out of office. But my point, let's just forget the media for a second, folks, and let's just look at the man, Barack Obama. His signature program, Ken's exactly right. This program has his name on it. He lied to people for 3 years about this program. People trusted him. People believed what he told them. They believed that he was going to improve the healthcare system in this country. They believed it was going to get cheaper. They believed it was going to get more affordable. They believed it was going to become more plentiful. They believed that everybody was going to have insurance. They believed Obama. That's why he was elected. They believed he was a different politician. They believed he was messianic. They bought into that. They believed Obama and the Democrat Party and everybody in it when they made these promises about a new panacea and utopia in healthcare. This is an absolute national disaster. And the man who gave this program to people is snorkeling in Hawaii. He's out there for 17 days. I'm reading about the burdens of the office travel with the president wherever he goes. The burdens of the office are such the president is never on vacation. This man is. This man is on vacation even when he's in Washington. But this is outrageous. In addition to people going to the hospital and being turned away, and by the way, that story is in the British media. You don't find that in domestic U.S. media. The UK Mail Online spoke with patients who were told that they would have to pay their bills in full if they couldn't prove they had insurance. That's not what Obama told them was going to happen. Obama told them they were going to get cheaper premiums, cheaper deductibles, cheaper copays, and that if they liked what they had, they could keep it. So people, the ones who did sign up, now may not have actually signed up because after 3 years, this bunch can't even do a simple login registration website. And the man who gave us this doesn't appear to care. He doesn't care enough to even come back and use the power of his office as boss over everybody in charge of this and insist that it get done right. Instead, he's at Nobu on Waikiki Beach one night. Instead, he's snorkeling. Instead, he's out hitting golf balls. Instead, he's reading books on the beach or whatever he's doing. Yeah, it's true, the media would be hammering George W. Bush, but we know the media isn't going to hammer Barack Obama. No matter what, they are Barack Obama. The more important thing here is just what kind of man would do this? What kind of man could appear so cavalier? He knew that January 1st, January 2nd was D-Day for this plan to go into effect. He knew that. And where is he? He's as far away from Washington as you can be and still be in the country. With absolutely not a care in the world. And yet, it's a Democrat. They're the ones I've heard all my life. They're the ones who really care about people. They're the ones who really have compassion. They're the ones who really care about the little guy. Why is it the little guy keeps getting the shaft when these people are in charge? Why is it the very people who believe Obama, the very people who elected him, get the shaft? One person was faced with a $3,000 hospital room charge, opted to leave the hospital while having chest pains because couldn't pay the $3,000. Well, who could? They thought they were insured. They had signed up at healthcare.gov. Another, coughing in the cold, walked out without receiving a needed chest x-ray. Consumers are facing sticker shock for medical costs under the new Obamacare system, made worse if they can't prove they're insured. How? You show up at healthcare.gov, you give them all your data, you sign up, you follow the law, and they don't know you've been there? Even if you have signed up and for some reason can't prove it, there ought to be some record of you having signed up in their database. Why isn't there? And if there is, why can't anybody find it? This is a disgrace, folks. These are real people. These are human beings who probably don't have a lot and have been talked into depending on the government for this kind of thing. They've been talked into depending on other people. They've been talked into believing that powerful forces are arrayed against them and are ready to screw them at each and every turn. Let us handle it for you, the Democrats say. And where are they? As many as 1/3 of new enrollees' applications have seen problems when the government transmits the data to the insurance companies. Here's a companion story. This is from AP out of Chicago. The new year brought relief to some Illinois patients newly insured under Obamacare, but others still weren't sure whether they were covered despite their best efforts to navigate the often bulky system. The major benefits of Obama's health care overhaul took effect on Wednesday, the first day of 2014. By Thursday, the second day of 2014, the first business day of the new insurance system, it became clear that snags in the rollout of Obamacare still remained. Where this story is ultimately headed is a story about a doctor's office spending 2 hours on hold with a health insurer for a patient's surgery authorization and finally hanging up in frustration after not getting it. Here's the way the AP details that. Early problems with the federal healthcare.gov website led many people to wait until last week to sign up. Paperwork problems almost delayed suburban Chicago resident Sherry Zakyev's scheduled surgery Thursday. But Dr. John Vanitas decided to operate anyway without a go-ahead from the insurance company. That was after his office manager spent 2 hours on hold with the insurer last Thursday, trying to get an answer about whether the patient needed prior authorization for the surgery. The office manager finally gave up. The patient's husband said, "I am not a happy camper." They signed up for a Blue Cross Blue Shield bronze plan through the Obamacare website December 16th. I understand just a matter of paperwork, and yesterday was a holiday. Look, I can be an SOB too at times. But since they're going on with this procedure, it's okay. Now, okay. You know, it wasn't that long ago where this patient could go to the doctor. The doctor, you know what, you need surgery. They schedule it, do the surgery, and whatever happens, happens. It wasn't that long ago. You didn't have to call 3 or 4 people for authorization, for permission, for documentation, to make sure papers were in order. And because the doctor, in this case, happened to be a decent human being, he went ahead and did what was medically necessary despite there being no authorization from the authorities. He will be dealt with later. Make no mistake about this, because this is making Obamacare look bad. He will be dealt with later, but he did his job. The doctor, in this case, is the one who had compassion. The doctor is the one who did what he would have normally done anyway, but almost didn't do because of the involvement of 2 third parties, an insurance company and the Obama administration. It's the first day. They've had 3 years to gear up, 3 years to get this going, 3 years to get this ready. And so what are we learning here on January 3rd? People are being turned away. People are not being treated in emergency rooms. People who've signed up have no evidence of it and are being turned away because there is no evidence they've signed up, but they maintain they have. And people may not get needed surgery because the authorities on the other end of the phone, wherever they are in the regime, aren't picking up. Yeah, it's entirely possible this doctor who performed this surgery may pay for it himself. It's entirely possible he won't be paid. If the regime, the Obama official, or the insurance company denies permission after the fact, if they say, well, you know what, you shouldn't have done the surgery because we weren't going to authorize that. Doctors, I had no choice. I have a patient here who needs this surgery. Well, that's fine and dandy, but you're not being reimbursed. This is why doctors are leaving. Medicare, Medicaid. It's an absolute disaster. And I don't care what the media is saying about it. What matters is that we've got a chief executive who doesn't care. This business about the burdens of the office follow the president everywhere. This president is disproving that daily.